think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with
You guys, what's up? It's Mad Mike Podcast.
so far they all think I'm too white.
Can we turn this down so I can talk to my listeners? Oh, all right. Fill it out. It's fine. It's an option. What's up, guys? This is Mad Mike Podcast. Whatever. I lost track of the episodes that we're on, but Mark?
12?
12. Our guest
This
knows.
is 12.
You guys, I have a special guest in the house. I'm going to introduce him before my co-host because I can do whatever the fuck I want. When you have your own podcast, you can make all the rules. Like road rules. Like if I was an MTV exec in 1991, I could be like, how is road rules going to work? Oh, I know. We'll put people on a stupid bus and make them do weird shit. And you know why I can make that executive decision? Because I'm the executive. So I'm kind of like the executive of this podcast and creator. Anyways,
And there was silence.
guys, my special guest is someone that I look up to a lot. Comedian Ron Swallow.
Really, me? Oh, thanks. Hi,
Hi.
You look up to me? Aw, that's just because I'm a little bit taller than you.
Yeah, about like an inch, I would say.
Yeah.
An inch. And guys, I have a co-host. His name's Mark Day. If he could get the fuck off his phone and pay attention to what's happening.
Sorry, just the show timer, but
Oh.
it's all good. Hey, what's up?
Not much. Oh, yeah, he does. We're just talking about, Ron, everyone just showed me his phone. I have a comedian called Chris Allen who looks a lot like Lance Allen, who was our last guest.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. We were also talking about that Mark and I made us put a pin in it because it was a shame we weren't recording. Mark was just discussing the fact that chickens are disgusting because they poop out eggs.
And we eat them.
Yeah. But they don't poop out eggs. They lay eggs.
They
it's not like
lay-
they're coming out of their butts.
Right, it's coming out of their vagina, which is a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not pooping. Your wife didn't poop your baby out.
She did when I was like a 3-year-old. Like when you were young, is that what she thought?
Wait,
No, you're a
what?
girl. Like when I
What?
was a boy, I thought babies came from the butt.
There's a lot of people who thought that.
Yeah.
Really?
Because it's the one thing stuff comes out of that is
Yeah.
big enough possibly to have a baby.
And
come
when you're
out
a
of.
young kid, you've got it. We can use the young boy terms. We have a wee-wee, and we can't imagine.
Okay.
Do we need to say wee-wee?
No. We're on iTunes, but they don't have a thing.
We're gonna get censored.
We're not. They don't censor you. You can say penis. You can say the medical term on any show. You could be on Undateable, which is
Right.
On at 8
I
o'clock.
love that you just brought that up right away. I listened to enough episodes to know that you're clearly in love with Chris D'Elia.
Shit.
In love with Chris D'Elia. All you can do is think about him all day long, all night long, every day.
Let's only do 15 on him.
I was just picking the dumbest fucking show on the air right now.
I don't watch it. I only watch Merlin
Yes.
and Supernatural,
Are we talking about the Sam Neill Merlin
Flash.
or the new version?
the new version. Are you talking about the first movie? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, it was a movie. You're right. No, this is the guy from Galactica, right?
Whoa,
that
you
played
just got out
Baltar.
nerded.
Yeah.
The guy that plays Baltar plays Merlin. That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, but if you were watching that horrible fucking censored fucking shithole NBC comedy Undateable, I'm pretty sure they can even say penis because
Right.
it's a medical term.
Yeah, you can say
Continue.
penis.
Penis. Continue with your stupid theory.
Oh, I'm done.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Oh, thanks, Mark. Well, I don't understand. I still don't understand.
I
your
see why you
argument.
make fun of Mark on all your episodes.
You. He just said
Yeah.
chickens were disgusting.
Yeah, they're
Well,
delicious. They do look pretty gross.
Let's
I'll admit
back
that.
up. Let's rewind. We were saying we're the only mammals that drink another mammal's milk.
Yeah, we talked
Or
about
another
that.
animal's. Another animal's milk. And I said, well, that's not as bad as eating a chicken. What a chicken gets rid of its waste product we eat.
Yeah, but we don't do that.
We don't do that.
We're not eating chicken shit.
We're
No,
not eating-
but an egg
it's not
is a
chicken
waste
shit
product.
nuggets.
But an egg
That
is a
doesn't
waste
make any
product.
sense. It's not
It
a
is a
shit-
waste product.
It's not a shit omelet.
It's
not
an unborn
not
baby.
a waste product. How is that a waste product?
Because they have to get rid of it.
Doesn't have to get rid of it.
Yes, it does.
You are the worst at science.
He's Mormon.
What
Oh, yeah.
what he's trying
we know
to
nothing
say
of
is that
science.
Is that what they teach you guys about the church?
Chickens
Yes, that's all we talk about.
menstruate through an egg, is
Yeah.
what he's saying.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
if
but it's
humans
also
did that,
could
it'd
be-
be like making a period omelet.
It could be a chicken.
Oh, I see. You're saying we're eating their abortions or miscarriages because it's not really their choice. They're not like signing up at the chicken clinic for.
Yes. And I love how like each show,
It's
like
just
I
an
have to
unfertilized
explain like my very intelligent and very well thought out.
You actually
jokes.
might be smart, but what you do is you jump. One of the
Yes.
things that's important in comedy is to connect the premise
Got it.
to the punchline in a way that's seeable by regular people.
Got it. Yeah,
If
gotta
you,
go up the ladder.
if you go from here to another like ledge up
Right.
in Montana,
Neil deGrasse Tyson, I get it.
Yeah.
I see it.
that's a physicist.
If okay, I
Is this show too nerdy? Let's bring it back.
right.
Michelle, what's going on?
I can't even do it.
What's going on today? What'd you do today?
I worked, you dumb fuck, because I have a job and I have to pay for
And
shit.
we're
I work
back.
too.
What'd you do?
I have a day job for a little while. I sell sandwiches and salads to businesses out of a giant cooler.
Hey, that's important.
Do you have a horn?
I don't.
You squeeze when you walk?
No. That
Does
would
he
be
have a
awesome.
horn or corn?
Horn.
A horn.
Corn too, I guess, is a relevant question.
Well, there's corn in some of the salads.
Delicious.
Yep.
There's a guy that walks up and down my street with a horn, and he pushes a cart, and he sells like little chips and,
Hot dog,
and
hot
fruits
dog.
and stuff like.
Wow. It's like you went down to a bar, and the bar right before the show, then the bar was called All the Things Michelle Doesn't Want to Fucking Hear. And you were like, "Oh, sir,
good
can I have
bar,
a
so I'm not
double
sure.
and a triple and a beer to chase it with?" And then you drank all that, and then you took notes, and then you came here.
What do you like to talk about?
That's a good question. How much I hate the world today.
Oh no. Okay. That's
I'm a
understandable.
misanthrope.
You're a misanthrope.
I've been
Good
called
word.
a lovable misanthrope.
That seems impossible.
After a bottle of wine, she's a lycanthrope, though.
Well played, sir.
I don't like to talk about obvious things that female comedians talk about, like their vaginas and periods and.
Why not? Who gives a shit about
how
that? A
being
lot
single-
of comics get mad about that stuff. I don't care. If a woman wants to talk about being single or whatever's on her mind, as long as she does it in her own original, funny way, I'm cool with it. Talk about whatever you want. I have some stupid dick jokes. I'm not gonna pretend I don't. One of the dumbest jokes I do is I go, "Hey ladies, I heard you could tell how good a guy is in bed by how he dances. Is that true?" And then usually some girls are like, "Yeah, it's true." And then I'm like, "Oh, that's so weird because this is how I dance," and I just hump the air. And then I'm like, "But I can only do that for 2 minutes." Is that good? Is that good? It's the dumbest joke I've ever written. It crushes every single time I do it.
I've seen you do that.
Yeah, it works. It's an amazing joke, and it's not an amazing joke all at the same time.
Well, because you never know.
Yeah.
I think people are like, you should know your audience. Guess what? That's kind of fucking impossible unless you're a mind reader.
You can look at people and judge them,
Yeah.
and you should,
Yeah.
and usually
Of course.
harshly,
Yeah.
and then lower your standards a little bit.
Yeah.
Judge them, then take it down a couple notches.
And then
because
have
you're
no-
probably being generous.
Right.
Yeah. And you should definitely not have any expectations.
Yeah.
High ones
Yeah.
at that point.
Well, no, just go in and do what you love to do. That's my motto when it comes to stand-up. I mean, you
That's a good
should
motto.
adjust and look at the audience and be like, okay, what do I have that I do that I like that will probably work for these people? And then do that.
Yeah.
But it's got to be you. Because otherwise,
I
what's
agree
the
with
point?
that.
So be you and judge.
Yeah.
Love it.
Always judge.
Yeah. Especially the last. Well, Thelma was here. Was that? How was it before?
That was before.
So we didn't talk about it.
What'd you talk about with Thelma? I mean, I heard it, but
I like that he's like
What-
got our
what else?
episodes in order better than we do.
Right? That's like, holy shit. Well, no, because we did the Telmo show, and then
Yeah.
right after, we did the bar show at Universal, where that guy was there.
heckled. Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, the insane heckler like took over the show. I called him Todd with one D, and remember that. But it's just like we all judged him. I judged him. I still judge him. I think he's a total douche, and he probably does that every single night,
Yeah, he's
just in a
horrible
different
person.
venue, you know.
Yeah.
But
What's amazing about hecklers and stand-up, a lot of people think that this is just like a normal thing. Like, no, it's totally cool. Comedians need to know how to handle hecklers. Really? Do bands need to know how to handle hecklers?
yeah, no.
You ever been at a concert and someone's like, that song sucks? It's never fucking happened. But for
No.
some reason, we just like allow that to happen in comedy. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It makes absolutely no sense.
It is.
Can you imagine if like a amusement park person like heckled like the roller coaster operator? Like, that sucks. Boo. You can't push the button. Lame.
I think they would more make fun of the ride if they thought the ride sucked, not him. His
They
ability
make fun
to
of the
push
actual
the button.
ride.
You
Like I
fucking
said,
idiot!
that's why I said
Well, you
it
don't
would be
do that
dumb.
for any performer. You go to a play and be like, that's a terrible accent. I mean, you might want to do that.
I don't believe your motivation in this
Yeah.
scene.
Or like picking on a ballet dancer.
Yeah. I think I see a. I think
You call that a lift?
Yeah. You can't plie worth a shit.
I guess that would never happen. There's only been one time, I forget, it was years ago. It was in New York, and someone did break character, and it was a well-known actor. I forget who it was, and they like just fucking looked at the dude, and they were like, "Are you done?" Like, because I can't keep this up.
Was it a heckler or was it like some guy on his phone or something?
No, it was a heckler. At a stage play.
Because I remember hearing at a
But
stage
it's
play
very
where
rare.
Yeah,
that
and
would
it's
never.
insanely rare, but for some reason it's just normal for comedians. We're just supposed to deal with it.
I think as people
fuck
are
you.
like, we're just the clown,
Yeah.
you know, and there's like just such a low level of respect unless you're
Right.
like
Huge.
Louis C.K. Yeah.
There's no middle class like comedians. Like
No.
not really. I mean there's a few, but it's pretty rare. But even your middle class are guys like Brian Regan and he's still making $300,000 a year. I mean, he's
Right.
middle class compared to say like Louis or
Well, Dave Chappelle just got booed and shit.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago, I feel like. 1 or 2
crazy.
weeks ago. But I guess their reasoning was that he was completely intoxicated, or he appeared to be completely intoxicated. He might not have been.
Not-
He might have been fucking
Not
with
taking
him.
your job seriously is pretty shitty to do.
So do you think people are more upset
Yeah.
about, not getting their money's worth, and that's why they started booing?
I mean, if they paid to get in to see him, he should do a good job. I mean,
Yeah, especially I'm sure the tickets were not like $10.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were really. Okay, you remember when Charlie Sheen did that fucking retarded ass tour?
Yeah.
What was that called? Like the Thunder of Truth,
There
or
was like Tiger Blood Tour or something.
Or,
like that.
something
Yeah. Oh, okay.
the winning thing. Okay, so I went to it in,
wow.
in Cleveland, Ohio, and the tickets were like, I think they were like $100 a pop. And I went to it because I was still in college and I was writing for the newspaper at my school. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna cover it. And all it was you went in the lobby, and it was a really nice theater, like the Playhouse Square, where like Broadway shows come through, and that's all that comes through there. They don't even really have comedy there. So everyone, it was crazy. You know how like you go to a nice play or nice musical, you go and have 1 or 2 drinks in the lobby, then they do the light thing, and then you're like, oh, okay. And then you finish and you go and watch the show, and then at intermission, you go and get another drink, and then that's it. And then they close down the bars. This was like going to a frat party that rented out the theater. It was like, the bar was insane. People were doing shots. People were smoking inside the theater. You can't even smoke. You can't do that. It was like, what the fuck? And then you went inside. The stage was literally like, he had a couch, and he came out wearing a Cleveland Indians jersey. Like, the jersey they wore in
like Major League?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He comes out smoking and holding a water bottle that's clearly a vodka cranberry, because they don't make cranberry juice in an Arrowhead water bottle. So... and then he opened with "fuck LeBron," and everyone went crazy. And then the rest of the show is him sitting on the couch talking to a random dude that was obviously a friend of his, and he wasn't even talking. He was just like, and I think his like mouth hit the mic, and it made like made the sound,
yeah.
And it was just an hour of him doing that. Like, he was just like, and then 2.5 men,
That's
and you were like,
ridiculous.
what the I can't even take, like, I was trying to take notes so I could write the story, and I'm like, I don't even know what to write besides I can't understand one fucking word at all. And now
Wow.
he's done with his vodka cranberry in the water bottle. And then people like cheered though. And then I remember he came back and nothing really happened. The same thing happened for like 20 minutes, and then that was the end of the show.
Huh.
That
And I
sounds-
felt like I
sounds
want,
horrendous.
yeah, I want my $200 back
Yeah.
for me and my buddy that I brought. Like
That's
$200.
$200.
I could have
Holy
gone out to a
cow.
nice dinner.
Yeah.
I could have bought
I could go out to 4 nice dinners,
that's what I'm saying.
maybe even 5 if I'm
That's what I'm saying. I
If
could
it
have
was
paid
a Taco Bell, you could eat for
Going
like
what I
years.
consider a nice dinner, I should say.
right, but still, I could have paid a bill, paid a
Like
couple
people
bills.
don't like Sizzler. Fuck you. Sizzler's fine.
I've never been to a Sizzler.
No?
Outback.
I
People
tried
are like
to take
Outback
you to a
is-
Sizzler,
Mm.
and she
I like
looked
Outback.
at me with the death stare, and she dragged me back out of the Sizzler.
Sizzler's great.
She wouldn't go. She's
Outback
too bougie. She's
Outback
too
is
bougie to go.
delicious too.
Outback's good.
I like Outback, except for now they kind of suck.
What? They taste fine.
It's one
They
of my
don't
favorite
give you as
desserts
much
ever.
ranch dressing. The ranch dressing doesn't taste the same, and you know it. The salads are small now. The last time I went there, everything was overdone. Who's calling you?
That's my friend, a guy I play Hero Clicks with.
What the fuck is Hero Clicks?
It's hard to explain to people who aren't nerdy. It's a miniatures game.
What?
Where
What does that even
miniatures,
mean?
Like miniature action figures.
Oh,
Where you are different superheroes and different, like, they have Inuyasha. You don't know what
Is it,
that
What?
is.
Is it a
Was that
dice,
English?
Is it a dice game?
No, well, the dice are
don't
involved.
ask him questions
Okay.
about
Dice
it.
are involved, but you fight.
No, I know what he's
you
talking
fight
about.
other
I'm
guys.
just
There's
curious.
strategy
I
involved.
know you know what he's talking about.
It's
Is
fun.
it like War Machine or Warhammer?
Yeah,
Mark!
sort of. A little different than Warhammer.
That's the
Shut
only nerd
up.
thing I've got.
Shut up, Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Warhammer.
I'm gonna read Ron's
Hey,
bio.
I got your Warhammer right here.
That was funny. Here's my bio and social media info. Ron Swallow. You guys, I just want to clarify this is what Ron emailed me.
This is what
Previously.
people told me email them.
Ron, so you send this to other people.
Yep.
Okay.
It's what I use for.
I'm going to read it out loud and
Stuff.
see if this sounds good. Ron Swallow is a funny nerd. Having lived the life of a geek with a strange name has allowed him to observe his surroundings in a unique and fun way. From making fun of his name to explaining why Batman shouldn't be allowed around kids, Ron has been keeping audiences laughing for years. He has the ability to take his geekdom and make his non-nerds relate to it as well. He's been on Ugly Betty, Mad TV, and you can check out his performance in the award-winning horror short Missing. You were on Ugly Betty?
Yeah, I did one episode.
What was that episode about?
It was. It's actually really funny. I was the intern when they were going to get married.
I've never seen an episode.
The dude was sick, and Vanessa Williams' character. This is a funny story too because I didn't know who Vanessa Williams was
How do you not know?
because I don't pay attention to anything that doesn't involve nerdy
Keep
stuff.
the best for last.
Like, so she, I was like talking to her like she was a regular person, and then later
She
on,
is a regular person.
yeah, well, a lot of people don't believe that. They're like, "You did what with Vanessa Williams?" Because I just sat and chat with her because I didn't know who she was. I
Is
just
she
knew
cool?
she was super rad. She was very nice. And I was like, "Yeah, this nice lady." They actually cut my whole line was, "Hey, don't push me," which they paid me $900
Sag.
to say. I wish
Yeah.
I could act more, but I just stopped doing that. And then
Get back into it.
yeah, well,
$900 for one line.
I gotta fix my teeths, my teethers. You can't tell because I have big lips, but when I smile, things are not so good. I'll be fixing them soon though. They changed they cut my whole line out to just "hey." I was like, my line was "hey, don't push me," and then they cut it to "hey," and that's it. I was like, "Hey, don't push me," and they just changed it to "hey," and that was it. But people called me and were like, "Dude, we saw you with Ugly Betty. It was crazy."
Did a guy call me and be like, that performance of Hey was crap?
Yeah,
Boo."
yeah. People were like, "Boo!" They actually booed. They tried to heckle the
heckled you.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
from their living rooms.
yeah.
Vanessa Williams, I loved her in that one episode of Fresh Prince.
Yeah, but he
So
knows who
remember
Tina
that-
Turner is.
Yeah, I know who Tina Turner
There
is.
you go. If Vanessa Williams did a
What's
sci-fi movie,
love got to do with it? Got to do with it?
That's a really good Tina Turner impression.
What's love? Oh, I can sing a little bit.
I was going to say, that was extremely above average.
No, thanks.
So, the only person
let's
I
just
know
have
that-
him sing Tina Turner the rest of the episode, and we'll just
That's the rest of the episode?
Got to do
Yeah,
with
and I'll
that.
cut her like video into it.
What's love but a second-hand emotion? Okay,
It's seriously very good.
I can sing a tiny bit. I don't know why my dad gave me a good voice, and bad teeth, and a high IQ.
Well, it's kind of like Jewel.
yeah.
Did
Oh, yeah,
she
that's a good
fix her
point.
teeth and it?
Well, of
and
course
now
she
it-
did.
It
She
ruined
did
it.
eventually, yeah.
It ruined it though.
No,
I feel like it ruined it.
you have to fix your teeth. If your teeth are bad, you have to fix them.
No, because it fucked up her vocals.
Yeah, even Bowie fixed his.
Oh, they fixed them? Mess up her vocals?
I don't know. I'm just saying that didn't sound official.
No, I think
No.
there's zero science behind that.
Yeah.
My best friend, I love people that talk to people that don't know who they are. My best friend came out here like 2 years ago, and she was talking to Horatio Sands
Oh wow.
on the street because I knew Sam. Oh shit, it's escaping me. Sam's name. He was in little guy. Shit. But I knew him because he did a guest spot on a Second City show I used to write for. So I see Sam, and he's with Horatio. It's outside UCB, and I'm talking to Sam about the show, and he's like, "Oh, I love that one sketch. I can't believe they cut it that you wrote." And then I'm like trying to ignore the fact that Horatio Sands is like standing, like 2 feet from me. And my best friend Kate starts talking to him about, I shit you not, starts talking to him about chicken, rotisserie chicken. And they're having like they're just loving they're like a BFF. They're just loving each other. And then they're talking about going to, Birds is right there. And they're talking about going to Birds to get rotisserie chicken together.
Nice.
And then we're all done talking, and we walk away, and I'm like, you know who you were just talking to, right? And she's like, some nice fella? And I'm like, oh my God, Kate, no.
That's funny.
And I'm like, he was on SNL for years. And she's like, I don't remember him at all.
SNL,
I don't think.
SNL,
She goes, are you sure? And I'm
Are
like,
you
yes,
sure? You're
I'm
like, yes.
fucking positive.
Nice. My favorite celebrity story is about Chris Rock. I was doing the open mic at the Laugh Factory, and he came in while Jamie was talking to all of us. And first off, he asked for stage time. He went to Jamie and said, "Hey,
When was this? How many years ago?
This has got to be. I was still married, so it's got to be almost 9, maybe 10 years ago, even."
Oh, wow.
And he came in and he asked for stage time first off. He said, "Hey, Jamie," he's like, cool if I get some time. And Jamie's like, well, of course, obviously.
Right.
And then he came around and said something to all the comics that were left. There was only like 4 or 5 left, but he shook everybody's hand.
The open micers?
Said hello. Yeah, said hello to all the
Wow.
open micers. I asked our names. I told him, Ron Swallow. And he's like, your last name's Swallow? What the fuck? That's
I love
terrible.
it.
You got made fun of. I was like, yeah. And he's like, you do jokes about it? Yeah, of course.
Right, of course.
Whatever. Then he goes up, and when he goes up, everybody goes insane. Like, the crowd
Right.
goes insane. Everybody's, yelling or whatever. And he's like, chill out. This is new shit. And then he goes into some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. And he's great, right? So I'm doing club bouncing because I'm just like going to the comedy store or going to the improv or whatever. So I saw him at both places later on do sets, and he'd rewritten the jokes on the way over to the first
crazy.
one, and then rewrote them again onto the third one. And that to me was like a huge deal because it was like, even though he's on an obviously way different level,
Right.
that's what I do. Like, I'll do a joke, and if I don't like it, I'll rewrite it,
Right.
and go over to another mic and try it out and see if I like it the new way.
See if
and,
it lands better, yeah.
And then, but he was doing the same thing, and it was kind of inspiring because it was like, okay, well, then I'm not.
You're like, I'm on the right track.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
I'm doing the same.
now
we're doing
10
the same
years
shit.
later, I run an open mic at the Liquid Zoo.
Yeah, but hey, you're running the open mic.
Yeah, and I mean, I do the road and stuff too,
But still, I mean, that actually makes me feel good. Their last open mic, actually, well, you were there. It wasn't an open mic, it was a show, but I was rewriting shit like right before I go up. Because
Yeah.
that's when I do the best. If I'm under the gun, that's when I do the absolute best. And even if I have something written, I'll be like, oh, I should change this word to this word. But only at the last minute. Even if I had all week to do shit, like let's say for some reason I wasn't working, and I was doing an open mic on Friday night. Monday morning, I will sit there in front of the computer and just fucking stare at it and not write one fucking word. And then the Warner Brothers thing, I just did the Warner Brothers. I submitted to the writers' workshop. Okay, so the spec script was due May 31st. I started the spec of Mike and Molly on May 30th at 10 a.m.
jeez.
And I finished at 11:59. I submitted it at 11:56. The deadline was 11:59.
Jeez.
On May 31st. Because I feel like I write better under the gun. But that is just really, it's just inspiring.
You weren't worried about editing it?
No, there was no time.
All right.
I did it as I went.
That's what I do too.
I printed it out at midpoint,
Once
like
you've
20
written
pages.
enough stuff, you can do that. Like
Yeah.
with stand-up, half the time I edit on stage. I barely even write any of my jokes down though, because when I say write, by the way, I mean I just write them in my head. I have a really good memory, so I don't even have a notebook.
Wow, really?
Yeah, all of the stuff's in my head.
Holy shit,
So-
Ron.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty freaky. I don't ever have to worry about memorizing things because it's just memorized if I write it myself. Like if I have to memorize somebody else's stuff, well,
Forget
that's a
about
whole
it.
different thing. I'll have to work really hard to do that.
okay.
I can do it, but I'll have to work hard to do it.
Yeah, like you ever see the Joan Rivers documentary with her cabinet?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
they're gonna submit it probably to the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
But her cabinet, you know what I'm talking about?
It's just like
I know the documentary. I never saw it though.
So
She has-
she's got
a file.
like like the Dewey Decimal System.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got the same thing. Well, she had the same thing in her house, and when you pulled out the drawer, every index card was a joke.
Were there index cards then?
The
2x5s?
index card was like one joke,
Wow.
and she has literally a giant fucking wall of like her jokes, and her daughter is most likely going to donate it to the Smithsonian.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
which is cool. They should. What the fuck else are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
sell it at Sotheby's or something.
If she throws it out, I mean that would be insane, right? Like the Letterman set. Do you guys see that when the Letterman set? The
Well,
next day they just struck it and threw everything in the dumpsters.
No, I think that was
No.
overblown. I think what it was is like, no, they took most of the like rad bridges and the buildings, stuff like that. They put away, but they threw away stuff that was like just like random stuff. Like, oh, here's an old cue card. And they
Mark,
just kinda
don't cover for
No, no,
them.
No, dude, they
No.
smashed all
No,
the
no,
bridges.
I
smashed it, you
read
fucker.
it.
And then
I read
peed
it.
on
Dude,
it.
all the pictures
then
of
lit
the
on
guys
fire.
loading. They were
No,
loading
no,
up
no, no.
the dumpster in front of the studio, and the guys are jumping on the bridges and took pictures of it.
They should
smashed
have-
it. They smashed
They
it.
should have saved all that stuff and sold it for charity, is what they should have done.
I completely agree. That would
That
have been
takes
awesome
time,
charity.
but there was some billionaire decision. He's like, I don't want that million.
Yeah, there's
I'd
some
make.
executive
Fuck
who's-
that.
who
I get
wants
another
the
show in
stage.
there.
Yeah.
Who's probably they already have it planned to run out for some dumb pilot that'll be canceled after 2 episodes.
Yeah, so who are they gonna? Did they get anybody to replace him? Are
Yes.
they doing any?
Steve-
That guy.
Stephen Colbert.
Oh, I didn't know Stephen Colbert
Yeah.
was replacing him.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
So they're probably building the set for him. So
I like Stephen Colbert.
yeah,
like
I think
him.
he'll do a good job.
I don't know anyone that doesn't like him.
Yeah.
And he even did. He.
Oh, you guys watch John Oliver?
Ah, he's
Yeah.
great.
God, that guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I've actually.
The Snowden interview was amazing.
Mark, I'm talking. No one cares about what you have to say. That's why you're the co-host.
Yeah, yeah, Mark.
Okay. Let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
Remember?
What is this
Okay.
movie from? What is that from? What
Kill
movie
Bill
is that
Volume
from?
1.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. See, you're nerdy.
So, well, no, it's just that I like any kind of idea of revenge. If
You had a good Game of Thrones joke on your Twitter the other day.
I said I was scared to walk to work, hashtag Game of Thrones. Shame. Okay. You know that little morning show? It was originally called Live with Regis and
Kathy Lee.
Kathy Lee. Thank you very much. Basketball team. It was like slam. It was like a pass. And then it became Regis and Kelly.
Right.
Okay, and then now it's Kelly and Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think anyone gives a fuck what Michael has to say?
Who is Michael?
He's some like football player that they got.
Oh, Michael Strahan.
yeah.
I didn't know it was Michael Strahan. That's interesting.
Now it's
I don't watch
permanently-
any real TV. I just do Netflix and Hulu now.
So, no, I only do because at work they have us all have little TVs because they want us to
okay.
watch daytime TV all day.
That's horrifying. It's the worst.
There's a lot of Law and Order SVU
Oh, I'm cool. with that.
marathons, and that's what I
Yeah.
stick to. That's my
Yeah.
Kool-Aid.
I like some Law and Order.
Yeah,
Criminal Minds. I'm into
It
some
was
SVU.
Criminal Minds
Flavor
too.
Aid.
SVU is
Not
the best
Kool-Aid.
the best one.
Flavor Aid.
What? Did you just are you
Jonestown
texting?
Massacre
That's
was
not me.
Flavor Aid. It was not Kool-Aid.
That's true.
Whatever. Say lovey. And that was my point. But you don't even know who Michael Strahan is.
I do know who Michael Strahan is. Do you know who Jen Kober is?
Who?
Comedian?
Yeah, I know Jen Kober. I know her personally.
Yeah, she has a really
Oh.
funny Michael Strahan and Kelly joke, actually. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, she's
Are you
fun.
going to tell it?
Maybe it's in my show that hasn't aired yet. I don't know if I get in trouble if I say it, but
What,
I was gonna
you
say
have
we can
another
Google
show?
it.
You have a show?
I do.
Well, he works on Kevin Hart's show.
Yeah, Kevin Hart show, Real
Oh,
Husbands of
cool.
Hollywood. Yeah.
And Jen Kober was on it?
She was.
That's great, man. Jen Kober is really
yeah,
funny. She deserves
she's
some success.
amazing.
Yeah, she's a really funny comic.
Basically, it has to do with him. So he has a gap between his teeth, and she likes his gap,
Oh, yeah.
and then maybe he likes her gap too.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Like her vagina hole.
I have a gap in my teeth too, but it's not supposed to be there.
Hey, Kelly might like you, but yeah. So no, I mean,
It
I've
does
met
look
Chris Rock,
natural,
too.
your gap, by the way. It doesn't look.
Yeah, I
Trust
know.
me.
I'm
Okay,
lucky.
so listen to me.
Yeah.
So there's a show I used to work on, and I can talk about it now because it's canceled and it's never ever fucking coming back.
Sweet.
Dr. Phil had his son had a show called The Test. It was on CBS, and it was so fucking ghetto. Like picture Maury Povich, Jerry Springer, but like with a fucking nobody. We
Wow.
actually had, I don't know if you know him, he's a stand-up. The guy that they had as the host, who's supposed to be like hosting this serious show, like this serious relationship show, like his name's Kirk Fox. He's actually a
I know
regular.
Kirk
Okay,
Fox,
so
yeah.
Kirk Fox. So, but this show was so ghetto that the number one question we had to ask people was like, what medications you're on to see if they're really psycho, because of course that's liability.
Yeah, Seroquel.
And
Seroquel, no, you can't be on the show.
no. Oh wait, I'm sorry. We're all booked for the season. And but the other question is we have to ask people if they had their teeth. And if they,
Yeah, I still have them.
we would make them sometimes take pictures of it, their teeth, and send it to us. Ron, how long have you been doing comedy?
I mean, 15 years in LA, but I started when I was 16 years old. And
How did you start when
I'm
you were
38.
16? Did
And
your parents just not pay attention?
no, when I was at a church camp. When I was stupid
Wait.
and believed in God.
Wait, I know.
Ripe for comedy.
Yeah.
Hold on. Back it up.
Yeah.
You were in a church camp.
Yeah, I grew
What
up.
kind of church?
I grew up in the religion The Secret's based on. Have you ever heard of The Secret?
Yes, Oprah.
Yeah, it's based on a religion called Science of Mind / religious science, which I should immediately point out is not Christian Science and is not Scientology.
Right.
Something different. The main idea of religious science is that this guy had a theory that God created everything, and since God created everything, it only had itself to create from. So it had to take from itself to create anything. So anything that exists has an automatic connection to God. And so if you're conscious, you have the ability to shape your life because of that connection to God. So your thoughts and your ideals and your beliefs will literally shape your life, is the idea behind it.
Okay.
Which is, you know,
Doesn't sound so insane.
no. And a lot of what it was this guy was like, here's some theories I have about how to make your life better. And it was like, be positive, do affirmations, do this or that. And he sent them to his friends. His friends tested them out. The ones that worked, he put in a book and said, these are the things that it worked. And then he put some philosophy behind it on why he thought it worked. And then wrote it in a book. And then people read the book and was like, let's make a religion, because that's what people do.
Yes.
It was not ever meant to be a religion. It was supposed to be sort of just an add-on, sort of a philosophy for people to use.
Right.
And instead, it turned into a crazy religion where one of the side effects, one of the things that I don't like about it, and I don't like about almost any religion, is victim situation. Like if you got mugged or raped or something terrible, you would be like, okay, well, since everything in your life happens because of your beliefs,
So what did you do to?
what did you do to be put in that situation? If you just believed you
Yeah,
were
it's fucked up.
safe,
That's
you would have been
bullcrap.
safe. Is literally an answer I got
Wow.
when I asked about that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm done with this religion, and then I left. And I studied a lot of other religions, and you know, because I always thought it would be good to believe in something, and the more I read science
yeah.
books and physics and biology and all this stuff, I couldn't help but come to the conclusion that there is probably not a God. I mean, you can't prove without a doubt that there's no God, but it's the only thing that makes sense. And if you understand the idea of, because people will be like, yeah, but what about this and that and this miracle and blah, blah, blah. It's called coincidence. And in a universe of trillions of stars, it's not that big a deal. It's
Yeah.
really not. Most,
No, I
most
completely.
coincidences that seem crazy to people only seem crazy to you because your brain is limited.
Yeah.
Your outlook is limited.
I believe in science.
I mean, it's
I mean,
pretty
it's
easy to believe in
It's
science.
the pale blue dot perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I trust me. I grew up very Catholic. We had to go to church twice a week. Who the fuck
Ooh.
does that?
See, I was baptized
Jehovah's
twice.
Witnesses.
Once as a Catholic, once as a Christian, because my grandparents are crazy people who go to a Catholic church because Jesus told them to, but they also go to a Pentecostal church. Do you know what that is?
I don't even.
Yes.
I've heard it a million times.
That's where they talk in tongues.
Yes, they do.
A lot of them handle snakes.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah, they're crazy people.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
grandma was a
Pentecostals.
lesbian until she found Jesus.
I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, she was on Sally Jessy Raphael and Geraldo for it. Her book is called Free Indeed.
Free. I'm writing this down.
Yeah, Free
Is
Indeed.
it on Amazon?
Probably.
Free
I have it. Free indeed.
almost spelled Indeed wrong.
Did you write
Is it
free
like-
in the D?
Is it
She's-
like IN space DEED?
Yeah, I almost
free
fucked it up.
from eating pussy
Like,
anymore. I
Free
guess.
from eating pussy.
But handling snakes.
So then you came into comedy in the church.
in a church. There was a talent show, and at the time, not trying to brag here, but I was a pro rollerblader.
Hey now.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I was
Roller.
technically a semi-pro rollerblader. I mean, I wasn't. I was sponsored, and I skated in competitions and stuff.
There you go.
And somebody was like, I was like, "Pff, if you don't have a half pipe, I can't do shit. I have no talent. And then somebody was like, well, you're funny. You should write some jokes. So I literally wrote jokes about G.I. Joe and fluffy toilet seat covers and how much I hated them. And then, like, that was the second I did well. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do forever. Like, immediately was like, okay, this is it. This
You
is-
hung up the fruit boots?
Yeah. Well, I kept skating.
Oh, okay.
I've done a whole bunch of horrible shit to my body from skating.
I believe it. Tony
Yeah.
Hawk.
Oh yeah.
Look how that ended up.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Multi-millionaire
I just
jerk.
said that.
Yeah. I know.
Multi-millionaire piece of crap.
I'm like
I'm like,
12
wait.
video games.
Yeah.
Just took his daughter with a GoPro a couple
I
weeks
thought he
ago.
was. One of them ended up a drug addict. I don't know which one. Someone did. I know that
The
for a
other
fact.
one, Alva.
Sure.
Should you talk about? You
I'll
talk
look
about
into that.
Dogtown is that what you're talking about?
See, this is why I'm a good writer, because I have time to Google shit. To back when I just say stuff. That's it.
You're inaccurate. That's cool.
Accurate as fuck.
Just own it.
And then when did you move here? Are you from?
I moved here when I was 22. I was from Albuquerque,
Damn.
New Mexico, for most of my life.
Wow. Where they shot Breaking Bad.
Yep. Which, by the way, I've only seen a few episodes of Breaking Bad, but what I've seen of them describing Albuquerque, pretty fucking accurate.
I would get. I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I'm guessing
a
they did,
nightmare
They
town.
did their homework.
It's
Yeah.
a great show.
I never really went. My sister lives in Arizona, and I'm like, I think it's the same thing as New Mexico.
It's similar. It's like a classier version of New Mexico.
yeah.
oh, classier. Well,
You
that's
know,
good.
Did you know that Riverside was the original location that they wanted to shoot Breaking
Makes a
Bad?
lot of sense.
And they chose Albuquerque as the second. So
They-
that shows you what Albuquerque is like.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure they also got a huge tax.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
the
yeah,
incentives that they
absolutely.
were
Yeah,
Yeah,
Albuquerque
incentives.
is way cheaper.
I'm sure. Because what else?
now,
comes
now,
up?
admittedly, this is, 20 years ago at this point. 20 years ago? Something like that. Maybe 15 years ago. No, it's even longer than that. Either way, it's a long time ago. But me and friends were renting a 4-bedroom house, and I paid $218 for my room.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
that means that altogether we're paying under $1,000 for a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
And that was years and years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
still,
that's
it's
cheaper than
not-
Cleveland.
It's not much cheaper. It's not much more expensive at this point because
Yeah.
there's nothing. Can't get a real job. In Albuquerque, you either work at Intel, Sandia Labs, or the gas station. Like there's not a lot
Those
of
are your three options.
There's maybe a few construction and this or that, but not a lot because
Yeah.
it's.
Jesus.
I do a
Never
joke
going
about
there.
Albuquerque where I'm like, hey, this to give you an idea of what Albuquerque is like. Each state had a quarter that came out a while back where they put whatever was cool from the state, whatever was
Right.
recognizable
Mm-hmm.
from the state. Like Georgia had a peach. Well, New Mexico couldn't decide what to go with. They were debating whether it be a drunk driver or a pregnant teenager. And they decided to go with a pregnant teenager drunk driving.
That makes sense
Yeah, it's
because that's
most
Albuquerque.
realistic.
Yeah, that's New
They should have
Mexico.
put spaceships on it. That's what I always
Yeah,
thought.
Roswell.
For Roswell.
Yeah.
You're hilarious.
I know.
You're so mad about nerdy things. Why does that
'Cause
make
I
you
get-
so
Do
Do
mad?
you want to talk more about Roswell? I have photos. I went there once. Video.
Like last night, my engineer, everyone, his name is Brian. He's also my domestic partner.
That sounds horrible.
There's
We
so
would-
much love here.
We would be married if there was someone would sign a paper. But anyways,
Oh,
so, anyways,
We had this talk. I remember.
yes.
I hope she dies. I'm just kidding. I don't hope that. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's so horrible. Don't ever say that.
I just want her to sign that paper before.
Said it right before.
That's
Yes.
terrible. Pretend I didn't say that. Edit that out.
But last night I was not getting sleepy and I had to wake up early. And it's literally was like putting a baby in front of like a vacuum cleaner. Like he put on, what did you put on?
Well, you just watched
Star Trek-
You watched Orange is the New Black, so I'm like, well, let's watch Kate Mulgrew. So I put on an episode of Voyager with the Borg, like a good one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was literally like, I remember falling asleep. I fell asleep sitting up on the couch.
So why don't you like science?
I don't know. Here's the thing. I do like science.
Sci-fi.
It's actually, I even pay for that digital subscription to New York Times, and the biggest thing I read is science. Like right now, did you know there's a bad thing happening with like a bat fungus? So anyways.
I did not know that.
See, we
I
should
know
look
cat
into it.
fungus.
It's Mark.
I'm around bat fungus so often that I do need to be careful of that. So I'll have to check that out.
Yes.
Guano.
Bats are in danger right now. Anyways, that's the thing of it. So, and one of my favorite professors in college, she teaches one of the only college courses on just sci-fi. She teaches English literature on just sci-fi.
Sounds amazing. I've read a zillion sci-fi books.
Yeah, because her whole thing, I did a giant article on her years ago. Her thing is like, well, Mars brings people hope, and that's why sci-fi is so like huge, because it's basically like saying we can rebuild and restart this thing versus all the shit we've already made.
Yeah.
So it like gives people hope that, okay, so if we have life on Mars, for instance, that we're all starting over and there's a hope for humanity, and that's why people dig it so much.
Yeah.
And that's why she teaches it. So, and I get that, and I totally appreciate that. But as soon
You
as
just
like
can't stay awake during it.
I can't stay awake during it. It's like fucking, like I said, like a fucking vacuum, or like a little baby when you take them on a road trip and they just fall asleep
Yeah,
immediately.
that's awesome.
I
What my
can't.
parents used to do is take me driving, and then I'd be like,
That's it. I'm a wrap. As soon as I see that ship on Star Trek, what is it called? The ship?
Well, there's a lot of series. Which one are we talking about?
I
Enterprise?
have no
There's
fucking clue.
Enterprise,
That
there's
wasn't standing still, 'cause that could
Voyager,
be Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Like right now, I just got like super sleepy.
So as soon as
Like,
you hear the
There could be the
space,
Defiant, the Alpha
as
Flyer.
soon as I hear like the, because the ship is doing something, or like Star Wars, I just like my eyelids just get heavy. I'm like, holy fuck.
You don't like Star Wars?
No, she won't watch anything.
The only movie I've ever really liked that is Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is good.
That's good.
It's funny.
I mean, Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll watch it a million times. Watch it right now.
Did you watch Interstellar?
I haven't seen Interstellar yet. I
No,
want
she
to see
won't
that.
watch
I
it.
watched
like
part of it. I fell asleep.
The second she saw Anne Hathaway, we had to turn it off.
Yeah.
Aw.
Fuck that bitch. I know why that guy fucking played
Anne
her like.
Hathaway?
Yeah, fuck her.
Why is that?
She thinks she's such hot shit. Fuck you, bitch.
I'm sorry, I picked this scab.
Where are you from?
Cleveland.
Uh,
Okay, Anne Hathaway looks like she's never sucked a dick in her life, ever.
You think?
And you know what? If you're not gonna be
You know,
a
one of my
fair,
favorite things to do is tell dudes that like, oh, who's your favorite? Oh, Gazelle. She's super hot. Really? You want to know a secret about Gazelle? She's had diarrhea.
I bet you she has.
She's taking a shit so bad that her asshole burned.
Yeah,
Oh,
because they
yeah.
make all those models
She
take
farted
laxatives.
and it smelled like death.
Rolled in some
Caused a
chicken
hemorrhoid.
shit slash eggs.
That only affects guys a little bit though. They're like, I'd still fuck her.
I'd still fuck her. I'd still fuck her mouth too, big time. I like when people say big time.
Big time. I fuck him up big time. How big time are we talking?
We talking like the big time, as in like the circus? What are we talking?
All right, let's get back to your comedy run.
Okay.
Fuck Anne Hathaway. I don't want to give Anne Hathaway any fucking more airtime than she's already had.
No sci-fi, no Anne Hathaway talk.
And no
It
Chris
doesn't end
D'Elia.
well.
Is that
whatever the
real-
fuck
is that
his
rule-
fucking
rule
dick
5?
fucking name.
Dalia.
Whatever.
I actually
D'Elia.
saw him
Still
do his
can't.
first open mic.
Please tell me the story right now.
It's not a story you're gonna enjoy hearing
Why did he do
because
well?
he was great. The first time I ever saw him, he did a great job. Immediately, it was very irritating, honestly.
You have to remember, you liked him, Shelley, until he was a dick to you at the coffee shop. Your hate didn't start until that moment.
And actually,
you
he's-
made me watch his specials.
He's been nice to me quite a few times, but that's because I saw him do his first open mic, and even though he doesn't give a shit about me now, but I mean, why would he? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. We weren't buddies. Although I'm friends with Collins, one of his buddies that opens for him a lot.
I've never seen his openers because I would never watch his shows anymore.
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, he's not my cup of tea though. I mean, he reminds me of Dane Cook, whom I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I will say this: when I've seen those guys live, they crush. So empirically, they're good at what they do. I don't necessarily like it, but that doesn't mean anything. What I like doesn't really matter. It's what people like and what they buy. So, and he's more famous than me. But part of that is that he has like a dad who's
Yeah.
Bingo.
yeah.
Yeah, if my dad didn't wasn't a tool and die maker, and he directed some, fucking Doogie Howser episode, I'm sure I'd be in a different fucking spot in life.
Yeah, most of us would.
Agreed?
Yeah. If my dad hadn't left when I was 16 years old, so that I slept in a bush for a week, I think things might have been different for me too. So.
Can you explain more of that?
Yeah, when I was a kid, my dad abandoned me. But I mean, It's barely abandonment.
Did he abandon you in the bush?
No. This is what happened. He wanted to move to Texas, and actually, I was almost 17 at that point. I think I might have even been 17, and so I was gonna leave in a year when I graduated. He was
Right.
a total piece of shit, and although now he was sober, it was hilarious. He was drunk and would, I don't know if this is that hilarious, but he would be drunk and he'd punch me a lot, and then the second he got sober and was nice to me, he just left. So it was like, because he was nice to me for like a year and a half when he was sober, and then just like he wanted to move to Texas because he got a job there.
I was gonna say any
and I was
particular
like,
reason?
I don't want to fucking go to Texas.
No.
And he was like, fine, stay here, and then left. And I, as a joke, I go, well, which I don't know if you know this, but apparently adults are not supposed to do that. They are supposed to be like, get in the car, you're going to Texas. But he didn't. He just left. And I ended up staying with some friends in a from
bush.
church.
Oh.
But first, for a few days, I slept in a bush.
Because the bush was big and you thought it.
Yeah, actually, it's a bush I knew about. It had like a like me and my friends made a clubhouse out of it.
We made
It had an
ice.
overhang.
We'd walk past and go,
You could go
"One day,
in it,
baby."
and there was like rocks
Sure,
you
like a
could
head.
sit
Oh,
on. Yeah,
okay.
It was a really big. It's New Mexico, so they had a bunch.
Mark,
of
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a bush he knew about. It was
I
big.
wasn't
You could walk
arguing.
into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I
Holy moly.
and then went and stayed with some friends from church, and
Pump the brakes.
a bunch of other crazy stuff happened.
The brakes.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Okay.
I have jokes, of course, about like one of my favorite jokes about getting abandoned. I go, yeah, you guys, I did have terrible parents, but you know, I feel like life made up for my shitty parents with great friends. And I had some friends over for dinner the other day, and they're like, man, Ron, this is delicious. How'd you learn to cook this well? And I was like, oh, this little class I took in high school called abandonment.
Yes.
It's a great class, you
Oh,
guys.
no.
Give it to your kids. Teaches them how to cook.
Most just take home economics.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I took that too. But yeah,
You had to learn a little.
you had to learn how to do a lot of your own shit. It's crazy the things you don't learn living on your own, like how a license works.
Right.
Like all
Right.
these little things that you just don't think about because, you know, nobody teaches you them. Like
Yeah.
ball powder, you guys. You got to put baby powder in your nutsack if you
You
don't know
guys,
it.
listen.
Talk it up.
All
don't
you
know it.
13-year-old boys out there.
Listen to this podcast where we've said fuck, I don't know, like 87 times.
And you're giggling.
Be sure to put baby powder in your nuts. That's the thing a dad should teach a kid, by the way.
I've heard cornstarch also works.
Ooh.
Cause well,
I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't.
I
might
worked in the
smell
restaurant
interesting.
industry for a long time, and all the line cooks. I was a line cook for a while.
Nice.
And
I cooked sopapillas. They're delicious. If you haven't had them.
I've had a sopapilla.
You can only get them in New Mexico, so pretty much.
It's kind of like
and
a
like
papusa.
a weird
fuck.
and a weird country in like Guatemala.
Yeah, it's
or
kind of like a
something.
papusa.
Yeah.
Kinda.
It is kind of
oh,
like
okay, like a
It's
whatever
like
you
this.
just
She's
said.
a Hungarian. She eats
I'm
like four
Hungarian, you
things.
fuck.
It's kind of like a goulash.
It's not like a
It's not
goulash.
like a goulash at all.
I know.
I was just gonna tell you, I don't
First
even know what
Hungarian
it
thing I
is.
could think of.
It's bread.
It's kind of like a stuffed cabbage.
It's not.
I name other Hungarian foods. There's only two I can
Ron,
think of.
I love you. Can you replace him? I've been trying to replace him
Yeah,
this
sure,
whole time.
totally.
I'll leave now. You
You're
want me to
fired.
go? I need to go home.
I've been trying-
Fired, you dick.
I
I
called-
got a wife that is wanting me to come home anyway. So
You have a wife?
He has a
do.
wife and a baby.
I do.
Like a
Gross.
brand new baby.
And I sit.
Gross.
Like they just got him.
I know.
Babies are the grossest.
They just birthed him. They didn't get him. Because there's a big
Yeah,
difference.
He poops.
Yep,
Yeah,
they do
he
that.
poops. You eat his poop?
No,
What?
I would hope not.
I do not. He's in the slobber stage where it's like, it's just like Niagara Falls right now. Just like.
I thought you were going to say the first grade for some reason. Like he was in
No.
the first grade. I don't know why
No.
that's where you're going with that.
So it's just like we have to change his shirt all the day because it's just.
You know how
it's-
like you don't like sci-fi?
you don't like
Man,
babies.
I don't like hearing about babies. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Babies are
His-
adorable.
his baby
I
is
just don't
really
want
cute.
any.
Yeah.
I like other people's babies.
Yeah.
Which brings me to another point that I know about you. You were married.
I was married
For a long time.
8 years. Yeah, from 22 to 30.
Hmm.
Yeah, good times.
And what was her name?
Beth.
That's right,
Whoa,
Beth.
The second Beth.
Yeah, Bethany. Not Elizabeth.
Evan.
Beth.
Evan had a Beth.
Oh, yeah. Evan had a Beth.
She was a super,
I think we hashtagged the Beth.
super genius.
Yeah, what does she do?
I don't know what she's doing now. She has kids now, but she worked for AOL for a while. She had a degree in English.
Really?
Yeah. She went on a
I have
full
a minor in
scholarship to
English.
Kent or whatever in
In Kent State, Ohio?
Kansas City. Actually,
Oh, Kansas
I think.
City.
I want to say Missouri. Is it Kansas City, Missouri?
Yeah,
It's in
it's so
both.
stupid.
As weird as that is, it is.
Or something like that, or Kent State, or something. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Kent
but
State's in Ohio.
No, it's not that. I can't remember the name. I know Kent was in it. But she, she got like a full ride scholarship there. She's super smart. When we met, we were at a party, and first off, I don't know if people can see what I look like, but I'm 38 years old, and I look like I'm maybe 25, I
Yeah.
guess now, something like that.
That's shocking just
But
now.
when I was 23, I literally looked like a child. I looked like I was a 13 or a 14.
Can we get a
year old.
picture of that somehow, and we can put it up on the?
Yeah, sure. I'll send you. I'll see if I can find a picture.
Okay, good. I would like that.
I looked so young. It was ridiculous. So she wasn't quite sure I was an adult at first. She felt like I was because I was like interesting.
right.
But then you look at me. But then we went to an adult party, and that's when she started talking to me. And she made this quiz called the Cosmo-esque quiz, where if you had to answer these list of questions that she made up, and if you got you got points for each question, and if you were a multiple of 13, then you were normal.
Wait, what
the
the
heck?
fuck?
She just made it up, and it was so hilarious that I was immediately like, this girl's
Drawn.
interesting. Yeah, and she is funny and ridiculous. But what happened was she grew older and wanted to have kids, and I know this now. At the time, I was just like, this chick is fucking mean to me. All of a sudden, after about 4.5 years, she just started being mean as shit to me because she couldn't find a way to say that she didn't want to. Yeah, that was weird. Did we hear a
That
motorcycle?
was a motorcycle, kids.
So basically,
that was
she started
your
being
wife.
mean as shit to me. And at one point, I go, "Hey," because I was getting a feeling that she was doing shit on purpose to make me mad, like pushing buttons that because I would just tell people, like when I was dating them, I would be like, "Hey, here's things that bother me. If we have arguments or whatever, if you do this stuff, I'll probably lose my shit."
Right.
And so thinking that would mean that she wouldn't do it, but instead she just did it. And I said, "Are you doing that on purpose?" And she said, "Yes." And I go, "Well, you need to stop doing that." And then she goes, "I don't think I can do that at this time." And that was in Christmas at her parents' house, and I almost got in the car and just drove home and just broke up with her right there. But I didn't. I gave it a few more months, and then she did a couple of weird things, and then I was like, you know what? We just need to not do this anymore. And
Not be legally joined.
yeah, and then it was great. I was like free for 3 or 4 months. I was the happiest I've ever been. About 5 months in, I was like, I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. I was depressed for 6 months. I lost 20 pounds, and I was 145. So I went
I
down
was
to
gonna say, holy shit!
Whoa.
yeah, I went down to 125. It was insane.
You just made every female listener, both of them,
Yeah.
very
Very
upset.
pissed off.
And then right after that, I was a whore for like 2 years. Like
Wow.
A skinny
I can
one.
understand that.
I did a lot of chuckle fucking. If you don't-
Chuckle fucking?
You don't know about chuckle fuckers? You haven't heard chuckle fucker? You haven't heard that term?
No, but I can guess what it's referring
it's
to.
female. Well, I mean, I guess actually just any comedian groupie, I guess, basically.
I will
They
say
fuck
this.
comedians.
I will say this. Well, I knew that.
It happens to women, too.
I will, yes, because, okay, so I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
And I usually was always in a serious relationship, but I would go like a year at a time or 6 months at a time where I'd be single. And I was bartender for a long time. So basically, I was just a comedian behind a bar telling jokes.
Yeah.
And all the time, and back then, like when I was like 25 and shit, I didn't care about my body at all. I ate fast food for almost every meal. Never, ever exercised. Never. And would start drinking Riesling, which is full of like sugar and shit, which is like the worst thing probably worse than a soda, at like noon every day. So I was very larger than I am now. And I never had a problem because this is what I would hear all the time. God, you're so fucking funny.
Yep.
It's fucking funny. You're fucking funny. You know that? And I'm like, yeah, I know that. How's your dick? And then that was it.
Yeah.
So
And
I
sex.
totally
Boom.
get that. Like
Yeah.
that's.
I will
what-
say, however, that the chuckle fuckers, you don't know what you're going to get into.
No.
I've had some weird shit happen. I
Like
had a-
what?
I had a
Name one
girl-
time.
I had a girl with a nub. She had a nub for a hand. She didn't have a hand.
Oh,
She just
wow.
had a nub.
Left or right?
Right.
Shit.
And she was blowing me, and then she put her nub on my nuts and started rubbing my nuts with her nub. No! Fucking hilarious. No! Yeah. And I didn't know how to react because it actually felt pretty good, but it was also like there is a fucking nub on my nutsack.
I feel that's gotta be written into a movie someday. That's funny.
I had another girl ask me to punch her in the tits in the middle of sex. She's like, punch me in the chest. She said it real aggressive like that. Punch me in the chest. I was like, no. And then she was like, no, seriously, punch my tits. It'll be hot. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. What? And then she was like, well, then you have to stop. And I was like, okay. And then I just like,
See you later.
got up and left because I'm just not gonna punch a chick. I got the 5 P's that I won't do.
What are
I'll
the
do
5 Ps?
anything else to a lady that she wants me to, pretty much. But the 5 P's are I won't. It cannot involve pee. Cannot involve poop. Cannot involve puke. Cannot involve punching. And cannot involve paying for sex. Obviously I'll pay for
paying, not paying.
Paying.
Pee, puke, poop, punching,
Paying for sex. I'll obviously
Ps.
pay for a debt. I'm not like a date. I'm not like a
Should change the word
not
to
like an
payment.
asshole. Yeah, payment. Yeah, that's a good one.
Payment.
Payment.
Yeah, let's do that. please.
Payment.
I mean,
5
pain
Ps.
works too.
Yeah.
Pee,
I
I
like
want
it.
to get it in your order. Pee, poop, puke, punching. I'm writing this down.
And payment.
And payment.
Yeah, we can't do that. That's no fun.
The 5 Ps. You guys, I think those are good guidelines.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of it, I'll do anything. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
That stuff is out of question.
I think,
One, I can't pee on you. That's just not going to happen. I have to pee
No.
really bad right now. And if you were like,
Well, here's McDonald's.
if you
cup.
were like, pee on me, no pee would come out. I would just stand there and be like, oh, I can't do it. I'm sorry. No pee's coming out. Especially if you were like looking right at my dick. I'd be so uncomfortable, guys. Don't look at my dick, please.
don't look at the hole,
Yeah.
the urethra.
Yeah.
The medical term, Mark, since you want to get all,
Urethra.
be urethra.
Urethra?
Urethra?
Aretha Franklin.
It's Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin.
Oh, God. Okay, let's talk about your special so we can wrap it up so you can pee.
Okay, yeah.
Your special
in
coming up.
October. It's not totally planned out yet, but it will be soon. So check out my Facebook.
It will be
I'm gonna be
Kickstarter.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing it at the New Art Theater during probably before Rocky Horror Picture Show. So it'll probably be at about 10 o'clock.
Cool.
Or 11 o'clock just before Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then I'll do another one that's at a reasonable time for my friends who like cannot get up and go do things at late night. Although it would be on a Saturday, and it's gonna be called The Way of the Nerd. I'll just be basically talking about. I kind of want to do it multimedia, so there's gonna be like stuff happening on the screen in the background.
Cool.
While I'm doing stand up,
Kinda
not
like,
distracting stuff. It'll go along with what I'm doing.
Sure.
Did you see John Leguizamo's last one that he did with the projector?
No, I
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
seen that.
You should check it, John.
He
yeah.
used a projector that was rear projected so he could walk in front
walk
of
up
it and
to
then
it,
walk
yeah.
behind
Yeah, that's
it.
kind of what it's gonna be. It's gonna be
Kelly,
something like that.
George Carlin's. Have you ever seen Kelly Carlin's show?
Oh no, I haven't seen it yet.
I actually met her and she did the same Second City show that I used to write for. But George Carlin's daughter, Kelly Carlin, does a show called the Carlin Home Companion. She did. It's like a live show. She actually just
Sounds
did it at the
awesome.
Falcon. Yeah, at the Falcon Theater right here in Toluca Lake. But she is touring, and she does the same thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's the basic
it's really
idea.
cool.
I think it would go with what I'm doing, and I think it would make it a little more interesting of a thing rather than me just doing straight stand up. So
Yeah, and plus it's the new, like, stand up is changing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it would just be fun too.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. I should be doing some other weird nerdy thing. So,
Right.
Yeah, and plus nowadays, like we've said it before in past episodes, not everybody gets discovered nowadays the old stand-up ways. You
Yeah.
know, like
and that's why we talked about a little bit earlier how I would love to do a thing where I just kickstarted enough money to take 3 of my friends on tour and pay for the first, like, with the Kickstarter, pay for the first, like, 15 or 20 gigs so that then I could use all the money that I made from those gigs to just keep doing that.
yeah,
Because that's what I would do.
yeah,
I mean-
things. If we did things the way that people did it in 1990, it wouldn't work.
No, you can't do
you
clubs
can't. There's
anymore.
YouTube. If you did just clubs and you just did open mics every night
Yeah.
and you did nothing else,
Yeah.
it probably is not going to work.
Yeah, no, you can't. And they don't book you on clubs anymore unless you've got credits. And
Yeah.
shit, so.
So how are you
Or a
going to do
fan
that?
base, one or the other.
Right, a fan
so
base.
you either have to create your own fan base or go from there. And I do cons a lot as well, by the way. That's one of the things that I do.
Nice.
Like, I'll be in San Diego doing the American Comedy Co. for a nerdy burlesque show. So they're
love
doing
that.
cosplay, and then I'm doing comedy in between a little bit. So,
My girlfriend Mandy Anderson back home, she does burlesque in Cleveland, and it's just like it's no joke.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like all the bad burlesque that you may be thinking of right now. A lot of them are actually
No.
like really great dancers who are not. All
No,
fat.
my friend Mandy that does it, she's not. No, she is
Not that
beautiful and
curvy
she's not slutty.
is bad.
Yeah, she's not a stripper. It's a
It's
totally
different.
legit thing.
Super artistic. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
So,
All right, let's plug some shows. Ron,
yeah.
you have a show coming up at the El Cid, June 28th at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And July 29th.
July 9th.
July. What did I say? July 29th. God damn it, I'm turning into my fucking dad. July 9th at 8 p.m. You're at the American Comedy Company in San Diego.
Yeah.
You can find these events online, and we're going to put them on our website as well.
Yay.
Cool.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Mark, do you have any last questions?
Do you Twitter or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
on Twitter.
oh, yeah.
Dorky Swallow on Twitter.
Dorkies.
On
Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram. You can just look up Ron Swallow on Instagram.
Ron Swallow, guys. If you
Yeah.
fuck that up, then so help you God.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah,
If
don't
there
be
was
at
a
work.
God.
How could you forget? There's not.
You guys. We're on iTunes.
Segway.
Yeah.
We're on iTunes for some fucked up reason.
White and nerdy. White and nerdy.
You
White
do have
nerdy.
you have a very nice voice.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
You should do books on tape. You guys, my co-host Mark Day. Look at him. I like your
Hi.
shirt, by the way. I was
Thank
gonna give
you.
you one compliment today. It was
Yes.
very nice.
Thank you.
You guys, you can check out Mark's t-shirt online. MadMikePodcast.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on iTunes. We're on everything. Ron Swallow, I love you.
I love you.
Mad Mike Podcast.
Yeah.
I'm Michelle.
Mad
Thanks,
Mike.
guys. Mad Mike.
Websites. While friends need some code, who do they call? I do HTML for them all. Even made a homepage for my dog.